Welcome back to the Afro Anime Initiative podcast. Here at the Initiative, we discuss everything in Afro futurism from A to Z, and plus some letters that ain't even been discovered yet because futurism. Um, but before we begin, you could please follow us on our social media at Afro Anime Initiative on Instagram and Facebook, and follow our Facebook page and group. We share a lot of cool stuff there. And follow us at Afro_AI on Twitter and right here on YouTube. And while you're on YouTube, please subscribe, like, comment, share. Help the channel grow so we get out more super cool Afrofuturism stuff and stuff that affects Afrofuturism. I am your host, Darren Bradley, along with Paulina G. G, tell them what's up. How you feeling today?
Hi guys, I'm all right. I'm here. I'm ready to talk ish shit whatever to talk. I hope y'all are doing okay.
As you can tell, it's gonna be a long night. No, I'm just playing. It's been real cool. This stuff right here that we got is basically one giant story, but everything connects, and you may not think it connects to Afrofuturism, but we're gonna talk about how it does connect to Afrofuturism and the future of a lot of black creatives. So this past week, oh no, past 2 weeks actually, Discovery Plus announced that they will be joining and forming a new company with Warner Media as AT&T sells off basically their whole entertainment arm. Man, it's a lot of stuff to go through here, but as everything begins and ends, follow the money. AT&T Time Warner is in debt. What? Yeah, you would think this giant company with their crappy phones wouldn't be in debt? Shocking. They're about 150 to 180 billion, yes, with a B, people, $1 billion in debt. They bought up all these companies and did all these mergers, thinking they would get to create a content creator giant like Netflix to funnel through and make more money off of. Get them both ways: pay for the phone, pay for the internet, and then pay to watch all the stuff on the internet. Well, it took them like 80 years after Netflix to get HBO Max, and well, HBO Max isn't doing as good as it should. And HBO Max has also ruffled a lot of feathers in Hollywood with their date on HBO Max and theater release, and then not even keep them in the theaters that long. So Warner Brothers, this stalwart of Hollywood, is basically crumbling. It doesn't exist anymore. And there's been a lot of decisions made by a whole bunch of rich white people. So, man, before I keep going, Pete, anything you want to add? Questions, thoughts?
None of this is surprising to me. That's all I'm gonna say. Like none of this is surprising. For the deterioration of Warner Media now, I don't know how many name changes they went through. With their deterioration for the past couple of months, I'm not surprised at all. And I found it funny how AT&T thought it would be a good idea to have both streaming and still work with their phones, and then they realized, oh, it's expensive trying to maintain both. Yikes! So here we are.
Like this. So phones, and if you got the phone, HBO Max was basically free. But it's like, but how you gonna make money? It's free.
Right.
You're not gonna make the triple money that you're trying to make.
They were trying to be like they were trying to be like T-Mobile, because every time you add a new line, that person with the new line can have Netflix for free for a year. But what they failed to realize is that it was a partnership. T-Mobile doesn't own Netflix, and vice versa. It's a partnership. That's why it works. The AT&T for some reason thought it would be like, oh, if I own both, it'll work. No.
It would, and again, you gave it for free, and then people who even could get it for free didn't download the damn thing because they had to pay extra sometimes because it would go on a bill even though it wasn't supposed to.
Right.
So it's like, what was y'all doing? If y'all wanted them to pay for it, say, hey, pay for this. If you didn't want them to pay for it, it's free, no extra, back end charges. There you go.
Boom.
And you couldn't even get that right.
Nope.
But okay, well that's like I said, AT&T, Warner Brothers, as we've talked about before, just been mismanaged. And it's really weird because what it basically turned down to, I'm not going to get into all the names. Let's be honest, you guys don't care about these people. If you do, you can always Google them. They're still around. They're alive. Old school Hollywood, which is basically Discovery now. They moved over to Discovery. That's why Discovery got some of the blandest channels on the world, but they stuff that's still enjoyable. went against New School Hollywood, and New School Hollywood was messing stuff up, but New School Hollywood was still making more money than Old School Hollywood. You know, Old School Hollywood wasn't gonna let that slide. So here's the first thing that we're gonna connect this to with Afrofuturism. So all my black creators out there, all my black creators, we know we like to network, we like to get together, throw functions. This deal, and we're gonna get down to the money soon. This deal was all done on a golf course. Somebody at Old School Hollywood didn't like what somebody at New School Hollywood did, so somebody at New School Hollywood ran to Old School Hollywood. They was out playing golf, said, "Oh, cool, let's destroy a whole bunch of people's lives because a whole bunch of people about to get fired, but let's make a new company on the golf course."
So
That's the
typical rich white man stuff.
right, and this now needs to start to become rich black people stuff.
Yes.
If you're gonna start making deals again, not selling your stuff away, not giving your stuff away, making deals. Learn to play some golf, okay? Even if you're bad at it, because look, you're not playing golf. You're out there talking.
Literally, that's the whole point of golf. You're out there talking, making deals, y'all. Think, use your brain.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm. No, you're good. You're good. No, you're good. You're good. And that's what it is. But that's it. That's what we gotta do. We gotta expand some stuff because this is probably the scariest part to me about this. Even though AT&T was looking to get some of this debt, get some money for their entertainment arm, basically for Warner Media, and they can tell it was being mismanaged, people were still making money. Like I said, the dudes in charge of Warner Brothers were still making money. Mm-hmm. Even though we've talked about how they've been messing up constantly over the last year. And look, before that, because again, if you can't make $1 billion off of Superman and Batman, and I'm sorry, Snyder fans, that movie did not make $1 billion in theaters. It made its money afterwards when y'all went to watch it again when they recut it, when y'all went to buy the DVD for the 15,000th time, and then it made more money when y'all signed up for HBO Max to watch another version of that movie. That's when they finally get over $1 billion. It didn't do it in theaters. Nope. It didn't get it from ticket receipts. Right then and there, that was a sign that something was going on. You had the two biggest icons in media, not just on the geek side. You put that symbol up anywhere around the world, people recognize those symbols. And y'all couldn't make $1 billion.
Sad. Okay? So sad.
That's the problem. So that deal was made on a golf course. The old dude's like, nah, this not happening. We're finna sell off this whole company. Wait, what? Young dude's like, wait, do I got a job? So learn to play some golf, guys. Get out there and get stuff done. Okay, back to the story. So now what we're starting to learn is that this new company, it doesn't have a name yet, will take AT&T will sell off all of Warner Media. That's CNN, Cartoon Network, DC Comics, the video game, Warner Brothers Gaming, all that stuff, and sell off to Discovery. So what basically, to keep it simplified, let's just use the streaming services name. So now Discovery Plus and HBO Max are going to combine. Like I said, we don't know the name of the company yet. And what it looks like, AT&T is going to own 71% of this company. But Discovery is going to own 29% of this company for $43 billion. Which means AT&T is going to then turn around and try to sell their 71% so they can get out of debt. Because already with the with the $43 billion, that cuts off a third. So they probably down to $100 or so billion left in debt off of this one deal. But that's not all. The head of Discovery is also on the board for Lionsgate's film. He could easily use his leverage to push Discovery, Lionsgate, and Warner Media into one company. With one thing that they're supposed to do: make good content. Nothing else. Supposedly, from what we know so far, this deal should go through mid-2022. And since it's a smaller, even though look, it sounds weird, smaller than the Disney Fox deal, nobody sees anything holding up this new company because again, it's a new company. It's not even a real merger. It's more of a new company being formed. All right, P. Questions, comments.
Nope.
Awesome, awesome. And what this does is, which is something I'm really enjoying about this, from the Warner Media side, that's just the entertainment side, is that they're going to be independent, basically. They don't have to listen to no cable stuff, worry about internet stuff, worry about nobody's phone. All they have to do is make the stuff. Like they get to go back and say, "Hey, we own a lot of things. How about we make some good stuff now instead of worry about what the cable company boss got to say? Worry about what this other thing that AT&T Tone or Time Warner Media, whatever. Look, I said so many different names. What they own and how to integrate it. No, they just make the stuff and then they have a whole department to make those deals later. Because all this stuff being under conglomerate, which we've starting to find out, is the biggest one of the biggest problems with this company with Warner Media, which goes back to a lot of our old podcasts when we kept talking about Mr. Ray Fisher
Mm.
and the many other talented actors, writers, producers, stagehands, catering people having terrible experiences, people of color having terrible experiences behind the scenes at Warner and all its connected affiliates, CW and so on and so forth. Bad management. Straight up bad management. Like even in recent weeks, Zack Snyder has been coming out just talking about how horrible he was treated to get the Snyder cut out for HBO Max. And again, Mr. Fisher has just always been adamant about how some of the behind the scenes stuff is the real reason why he's been going so hard at him. Then you get more stuff from always no Candace Patton. I didn't forget her name this time. Candace Patton, her experiences on the Flashes on CW's The Flash. Turn around and have we've talked about writers suddenly fired out of nowhere. They were the only black person in the room. Like it's like what's going on? And again, we've started to see it was purely bad management.
It's almost as if it's just a game to these executives. Like they care about content, but at the same time they care more about just the names of the media because they know they're heavy. There's weight to them, and it's like they didn't take it seriously from the beginning. Because if they did, we'd see a lot better content instead of whatever crap they've given us so far.
And
Not
there's
all
no way that AT&T they literally had the pipeline. They literally had everything in house. Like you said, they owned it all and still couldn't position anything right to get it done. Again, HBO Max is what? Not even is it a year old?
barely.
Barely a year old. But they've owned all this stuff for a better look more than a decade now. You Netflix been running for how many years? Y'all they all you had to do was do what Netflix did, make an app. Y'all just now made the app because again you had HBO Go and HBO Now. Those things were great. They worked super well. I never watched Game of Thrones on actual cable. I only watched it on HBO Go or Now. Beautifully streamed HD 1080.
Yeah, perfectly set up.
Perfectly set up. But then you create this new thing after you create the DC Universe app to put all your DC television shows, movies, and comic books all in one place. You make that app. That app was fantastic. And then you destroy that app to set up HBO Max.
And there's the
And it's
downfall.
and it's like you already had the tools, but even before that, you were creating separate stuff instead of putting everything in one house. Again, it's look like we talked about with DC trying to play catch up instead of doing your own thing. All you did was mess up. Same thing with one HBO Max trying to play catch up to Netflix instead of doing their own thing, strengthening their own stuff that they had already, trying to make something new to compete. They messed. It looks like they messed everything up. HBO Max was losing money. It was gaining subscribers, but it was losing money. It wasn't creating enough content. People didn't stay on. People didn't watch stuff. I share HBO Max with a friend. I sit there and save all these super old movies I want to watch. But again, they're old movies I've already watched. I don't go back. Ain't nothing new there. Even with some of the new movies, the in theaters and straight to HBO Max releases, I don't even watch them the day they come out. It's really weird. I'll go back and watch Avengers, and yeah, y'all be like, you just love Marvel. That's true. But again, HBO got good stuff. Batman Returns, not Batman Returns. I'm sorry. No, Batman Returns is like my favorite movie. That Catwoman scene, I'm sorry. Puberty. That's my favorite movie. It is it's phenomenal. I love that. Danny Vito's the Penguin. Beautiful cast. Tim Burton. Beautiful stuff. And I haven't went back to watch it, but I've gone back to watch like freaking Lion King on Disney Plus. It's not, and we're going to talk about that later on. It's not about the old stuff. It's about keeping up content for new. And even with all the stuff that they owned, they weren't producing new content. I believe we talked about this before. If I'm talking too much, Paulina, interrupt me.
No,
you know that, right?
No, I know. Okay. I know, but
we talked about this before. Mm-hmm. Harry Potter, they're destroying that franchise. Game of Thrones, they hired DB Weiss and the other idiot, and they ruined their franchise in the last year. What else they got? All they have is the DC stuff. Oh, look what they've done to their DC stuff. They've ruined those franchises. They can't keep churning out new content. Then when they have something good, because they want to switch over from this app to this new company, or fire these many people from DC and hire this person that don't know nothing about comic books to run it, all of a sudden your hit shows don't get renewed. Still ain't heard nothing about Harley Quinn season 3. That show was a hit. That show was a hit for the DC Universe.
Wait, app. Still? There's still nothing on Harley Quinn? Oh my god.
No, but they still talking about, hey, we gotta make this Green Lantern thing because Zack Snyder might do something with it. Wait, what?
Why?
Exactly. And Zack Snyder's not even really a part of the show because it's gonna be a TV show, not gonna be a movie. And it's weird, but it's like you so busy rushing again to kiss the butt of white people who don't care about your content that you're literally messing up your content. When you have a hit, you can't keep the hit going. Where's Young Justice season 4? Netflix had a hit. Netflix brought that back. Y'all took it from Netflix after they made it a hit, and y'all still couldn't produce another year. I mean, season 5, not 4. I'm sorry, season 5. But y'all own it though. Animation department. Before y'all started worrying about all these streaming services and getting HBO Max up, Warner Brothers has the best animated movies. That stuff looks terrible now. But then again, you have this stuff, this animated movies, this ability to make this stuff, and a place to put them. Then y'all slow down making animated content. Wait, what? HBO Max comes out and you just ain't got announced 100 animated stuff just ready to go. Y'all actually slowed down making more stuff when HBO Max started. Come on, man. So again, bringing this back to Afrofuturism. So these companies are now looking for content. Whatever this new company is going to be called, they know they need to make new content because they have to compete with Netflix and Disney Plus. Reports are coming out that this year alone, Netflix will be spending over $17 billion on new 2021 content. $17 billion. Guess what, my beautiful black brothers and sisters? Sit down, write your concept up, grab an artist to draw up some mock-ups, whatever you need to do. Start getting your proposals and start making phone calls. Make sure your stuff is copywritten, of course, and start making phone calls. All of these companies with streaming services are looking for more content to buy and partner with if you have a company, but definitely buy if you just own an IP. Again, intellectual property is important. Because even with Discovery and HBO Max merging, they're still looking for loans so they can buy more content. Do you understand me, y'all? They just spent $43 billion to make this new company. and they still might be looking for billions of dollars in loans to buy more content to create. Ain't nothing say it can't be Afrofuturism. Nothing says it can't be created by black people with a partnership with these companies. We talked about this in Thor and Shine last week, or should I say our last episode, with Idris Elba doing his partnership with Crunchyroll, and we got Issa Rae doing her partnership with HBO
Yep.
Max.
Yep.
And we have many more examples. Go listen to the podcast. Many more examples of people creating their own and partnering, not just selling, partnering. And like I said, with Netflix spending 17 billion, it's just 2021. They partnering with a lot of people, and we're going to move on to how this affects the other streaming services, not just Amazon, because this is a domino effect. And the first domino wasn't even Warner Media and Discovery merging; it was Disney and Fox. This is just the latest domino, and there's a second domino coming on later. But let's get out some of the business stuff and let's get into some fun stuff, and let's talk about the rumors. P, talk about the rumors that Disney might be buying a DC.
I don't know what's going on with Disney. I don't know how that's gonna work because they already have Marvel and Pixar and basically everybody else. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around it though, because I know it's up for sale, but what are they gonna do with DC content then? It's just I'm okay. Okay, hold on. I'm telling you, there's going to be one big company, if not Disney, then Amazon, who are just gonna have all the streaming content. Forget everybody else, just all of it. Or it's just gonna be those big two, and that's it. So the only thing I can say about Disney is like I don't even know if that's true or not. Like I don't even know how true that is because I didn't see
Rumor.
right exactly. So I feel like that's not possible. But again, I don't know what's going on. I don't think anybody knows what's going on at this point. I don't know what Disney is thinking of. I don't know if they're actually gonna go buy Warner Media because that would be a big ha.
Not even Warner Media. They're just gonna buy DC
or DC. Okay,
That's the rumor. Just DC.
That's still a big ha though, because they got Marvel, and how would that work though? I mean, it could probably work, but
this is not the first time this has happened. Like people understand. Like I have to read my history of DC and Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time when they were both published by the same person.
Okay.
Right. And during the ups and downs of the comic book industry, it's always been rumors. Well, DC's about to buy Marvel now. Marvel's about to buy DC now.
Right,
the publishing company that owns DC is about to buy Marvel's publishing company. Like it's always been there.
Mm-hmm.
This just might be the first time that if it happens, it's never going to change again. That's what's making this rumor so weird. It's like if Disney gets them, they ain't never gonna sell them.
Oh no.
They're never gonna lose the copyright.
Nope.
So that's what makes this so scary. And again, it's all because AT&T went back and bought the stuff and didn't know how to manage it. This wouldn't even be a rumor to talk about.
All because of poor management skills.
Yeah. And that's what and it's so funny because I believe we talked about this before about a bunch of white people failing upwards. These people have failed upwards to a tune of 180. Jesus Christ, I can't even say it. Failed upward to $180 billion. And you like, how is that a failure? With all the stuff that AT&T owns, and I wish I had saved the map. There's a map, guys, of all the things that AT&T bought when they used to have a little bell symbol to the global symbol. And literally, they have so much stuff. If it was organized properly, nobody could touch them. They couldn't be, but instead, 150 to 180 billion dollars in debt. Look, it's so much debt we don't know, but we know it's at least a minimum of 150 billion. And just to reiterate this, Disney, on the other hand, literally the second year they bought Marvel, made their money back. First year they brought Star Wars, made their money back. About the fourth year they had Pixar, made their money back.
Hmm.
That's the house of the princesses. That's the mouse's domain. And they did not have as much as AT&T did. They just didn't. And again, they're just now starting their streaming service too, but they did their best to not just copy Netflix, but to learn from them and then take their stuff back. I'm still waiting for another Daredevil thing, but it's fascinating. Like the stuff that again I keep telling my geek friends, the stuff that we talk about, we complain about, and even the stuff we get hyped about is cool. But the more important stuff is the business side, because the business side is where then you get to the people who decide to make more black content, the people who decide to buy black content, the people who decide, let's also be honest, that crush black content. This stuff is probably more important than wait, who's going to be the next actor for Wolverine? Because these are people that make those decisions. But yeah, I'm getting off topic. The rumor is funny because again, this happens like every 20 years or so.
Okay. See.
Like every 20 years.
Every 20 years, shoot. Last 20 years, I wasn't paying attention then. Because it was 20 whole,
but yeah,
20 whole last years ago. So
yeah, so it's super funny because this time people are like, yo, if this happens, that's it. Disney's not gonna then turn around and sell DC off or something. They're gonna do whatever they can to make it work. Wonder Woman, Princess Diana is gonna be chilling with Cinderella. Come on, they're not letting that go. That's cool. They would never let that go. So it's again, but like I said, just a rumor. And like I said, and nobody thinks that Discovery or AT&T is going to sell that off because again, DC does still create content. I've just finally bought the Milestone Returns issue number 0. Haven't read it yet, but I finally got it because again, it came out so look kept being delayed so many times. When it finally came out, I'm sorry, I didn't have $5. I just didn't. Not for that, but I finally got $5 and got it. Hopefully, I'll read it soon and maybe do a quick review. I know I owe y'all guys so much reading content. Um, but yeah, it's those things like that that Disney would turn DC into its own company, and it would grow it like it did Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar, and so on and so forth. The only thing that Disney has failed with so far might be the Muppets. That's about it.
Which I'm
Everything
surprised.
else
Which I'm surprised by.
Because again, Disney people keep thinking that Disney is kid friendly. They not.
No.
They not. And the Muppets are actually kid friendly.
It's bizarre. It's really bizarre how they're handling the Muppets right now.
Yeah. But okay, but yeah, that's the rumor stuff. But let's go into more business. Because again, the dominoes are starting to fall way faster since Disney and Fox. This week, Amazon has announced that they purchased MGM, Metro Golden Mayer. Did I say it right? I hope I did it right this time. Metro Golden Mayer for $8.45 billion.
Oh my God.
MGM owns 4,000 movies, 17,000 TV shows.
Oh my God.
And here's a couple of highlights. Do you recognize any of these names, Pete? James Bond.
Yes.
RoboCop.
Yep.
Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, definitely.
Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
Creed.
Yep.
Tomb Raider.
Wow.
And many, many more.
Jesus Christ.
All that shit's gonna be with your Amazon Prime subscriptions too.
Permanently. Not borrowed. Permanently, because some of that stuff sometimes is on Amazon Prime. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Depending on the season. But now it's going to be permanent. And granted, they did say like, we promise we'll still have the James Bond movies in theaters. I don't know how long that's going to last.
I got some notes on that. But finish your thought, and I can give you an update on that.
No, it was just like I said though. Like at some point, Disney and Amazon are probably going to be the big two. At some point, somewhat Netflix will still maybe barely survive at the rate it's going right now. Sort of. I don't know what's going on with Netflix, to be honest. But Amazon is just slowly consuming everything, like like a white blood cell attacking.
Use that nursing degree. Yeah.
like, yes, like a white blood cell attacking bacteria or foreign invaders. Like it's just consuming everything in its path. Like I had to be reminded that Amazon obtained Twitch back in 2014.
Yep.
2014. I'm like, what?
Yep.
It's already been 10 years. It's already been no, almost 10 years. Almost. Jesus.
Yep.
And now MGM. On
So
top
yeah, we
of
get you. Oh, go ahead.
well, no, I was gonna say on top of that, they also have like exclusive deals, like with like say with Donald Glover having his own channel.
Yeah.
Like Amazon is
And
making
now they got
moves.
Michael B. Jordan got the production deal.
Yes, that's right.
Yep. Yep.
Like now, what does that mean for Black creators?
Okay. Let's go with your James Bond comment first.
Okay.
James Bond Company is still the James Bond Company. They have
Mm-hmm.
full creative control of the James Bond IP.
Mm-hmm.
Again, are you listening to me, Black creators? This company owns the intellectual property of James Bond. No matter who makes the movies, no matter who, they still have creative control. Interesting, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
How old is James Bond? How long that crap been around? So the James Bond Company, it's not the name of the company. This is the easy way for me to remember it. They're saying that James Bond movies will always only be theater. Amazon like cool because as soon as they're out of theater, guess where they coming? Prime.
Straight to
And why they
Prime.
not in right? And why they not in theater? Guess what? We're gonna make a whole bunch of TV shows based off of it. What you gonna do? Hey, Amazon, do that Holly Berry show. Do that Holly Berry show. Do that Holly Berry show. So Amazon was cool with that, and Amazon also did just like this. Make that statement. Stand firm. Stand your ground. We own you now. Fuck with us. Because Amazon can. Amazon can say we can make your life a living hell.
Mm-hmm.
And we will still make money because we own everything. We own the studio that owns y'all. Y'all just own creative control. And y'all get a piece of everything. But Metro Golden Mayer owns the James Bond movies. They just have creative control where they get to make that statement. Creatively speaking, we will only release theatrical movies. But Amazon can be like, that's cool. Y'all can work on the theater stuff, and we'll do the TV, the animated show. We can still sell the DVDs of the movies when they come out, still put them on Prime for a certain video on demand once they leave the theaters. It's still Amazon still gets the money. And guess what? No matter how mad the James Bond company is, they still gonna get a piece of that money too. So I know it's a lot. We talked about this. It's a lot, but it is for us. Again, let's bring it back to Afrofuturism. It's opening up the playing field because now these giant companies are thirsty, and not just to buy up stuff. They are thirsty for partnerships. Again, Disney is doing a partnership with an African company right now, doing smaller production deals with American companies right now, going into Canada and South America and doing deals and buying up content there. Amazon is just buying up theaters. And when we get to the other streaming services, we're going to talk about what they might be doing now that the dominoes are falling. And again, don't forget, Disney did also buy Fox. Sony might be on the chopping block to sell. I honestly think most of Sony, like Sony Enterprises, doesn't want Sony Entertainment anymore. It's just it's a headache. So they might be moving that around. And get the Crunchyroll Funimation deal might have just been to sweeten the pot to sell off all of Sony Entertainment. And what this means for us is get your proposal together, get your idea solidified. Go spend, I think it's $100 to get it copywritten. And I don't even think you got to spend $100 if you don't want to. You can still do it the old school way where you mail it to yourself. And the date on the postage stamp, don't trust me on that one. Do it the official government way for now. Go pay the money. But copyright, and go pitch, set up a pitch. And if you don't want to sell it to nobody else, or you think that nobody's gonna want to look at it, then make it yourself. Put it on YouTube. Put it on Facebook. Build your own stuff up. So, like I said, you be have a partnership with them, or even if you do decide to sell your stuff off, it's a better deal, or a deal where you still get money at always residuals. We say these large numbers, billions of dollars, but on the ground floor, this money doesn't mean anything if it aren't creators out there creating. We talked about this before with the shakeup at DC. They fired all the creators, cut down some of the comic books, got rid of writers and artists because they don't think that they need the source material to create good movies. Not understanding they ain't created great movies yet with the source material. But look at Marvel, billions of dollars, with Kevin Feige rearranging the source material, but still respecting the source material. Marvel Comics is selling well. They're not a losing business anymore because they make good stuff on the ground floor with artists and writers. Star Wars. Guys, y'all know how I feel about those last couple of Star Wars movies. They still made $1 billion. That's the lowest one. The lowest one made $1 billion. No, I think Solo only made 800. No, I think Solo made $1 billion. I got to go back and check it. The lowest one made $1 billion. But if you don't have the source material, if you don't have the comic books, because a lot of people don't understand, a lot of the new stuff that we're getting from the animated side on Disney Plus, the movie side, a lot of that stuff is stolen from, well, not stolen, I'm sorry, used from the source material of the novels and the comic books. Or at least the stuff that works anyway, let's be honest. And if you own the source material, come on, man. So get out there, make your stuff. Get out there, write your books. Get out there, write your fan fiction and turn those fan fictions to your own thing. Please, I don't care how I feel, but Twilight made money.
Oh, for
and
sure.
all it was is fan fiction. Fan
Yes.
fiction. Go out there, black creators. Do your thing. And again, play the long game. Again, build a business, create a partnership. And because the landscape is opening up crazy. Which, Pete, do you got anything to add to that before I go on? I'm sorry, I was rambling. Go
No,
ahead.
your ramblings are wonderful. I enjoy them immensely.
No.
No, I actually don't really have much to. You pretty much said it all, to be honest.
But then, you know what? Then let's move on to the other people. Let's
Okay.
see what they might be doing. Facebook ain't gonna do nothing.
No.
They stupid.
Oh no, Facebook has been on some stupid shit for the past couple of months right now. I don't know what's going on with. I don't know what's going on Facebook, but
Facebook is stupid. Facebook tried to make content, and then when everybody realized that they was lying about their numbers and all their content failed and nobody made money, nobody's really making content for Facebook. They're just sharing their content on Facebook.
Yep. Just doing it through Facebook.
Right. So Facebook again, nothing. They stupid. Google, because Google did start creating, them YouTube originals. Those movies was doing well with some of their homegrown talent that they nurtured or basically just didn't steal from on their platform. And I don't think that they would try to buy anything. Like I said, Lionsgate is on the block, not on the chopping block, is up for sale. NBC Universal might be moving around. You got Sony trying to sell off their stuff. But Google may not buy nothing because at the end of the day, Google gets advertiser money for all these guys. And it's like, why compete with them? And one of their YouTube original, Cobra Kai, Netflix bought that and is actually doing better on Netflix than it did on YouTube originals. Like Cobra Kai is like the talk of the town every time something happens. They just dropped the trailer, everybody's talking about it. It trended for a while. But not when it was on YouTube, but now it's on Netflix. So I don't think Google's gonna do anything. They're like, nah, we'll just keep taking money from everybody. Y'all can advertise here and create channels on here so we get views from y'all trailers. So I don't think Google's gonna do anything. But There's one more player, which I think you guys have noticed we haven't talked about, which has a whole bunch of money, not a bunch of money, a bunch of money. And they don't know what to do with it. The money that is. Apple.
Yes. It is the
Yeah.
weirdest thing.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on over there? It's quiet. It is quiet,
Apple's
y'all.
after they first initial push for all that stuff on Apple TV, some of the stuff which was actually good, it was actually interesting, but then it calmed down. It really calmed down. And it looks like, especially after this, because Apple was trying to get MGM. And it looks like they were also trying to get Lionsgate. So now if Lionsgate goes somewhere else, MGM goes somewhere else, Apple has options like, okay, now who can we afford? And look, who can we get for this same amount of money? Between $10 billion and $50 billion. And if they gotta pay a little extra, they probably won't mind because they'll hopefully be able to get whatever they buy and generate content from it where they'll make their money back like Disney did. Because Apple has that reach. Because again, Apple was smart. Hey, you still got them old iPods, but they can still do video. Hey, you got Apple TV now. Hey, your phone is now the iPod and everything else we make in one. Guess what? Here's Apple TV. They did it right.
Yeah.
Now the interface might be a little janky, but you can still find what you're looking for. And again, your music is still there too, so it's not a problem. And it's like if they go out and buy a studio and absorb it into Apple TV Productions, Apple is going to be a player in this. It just depends on who they get. And if they get Sony, oh boy, is that going to be fun to see what happens with Spider-Man.
Lord.
But yeah, right now, that is the landscape of streaming services. And to reiterate, so you guys don't, again, forget the purpose of our podcast, talk about Afrofuturism. Creators, take advantage. Get your stuff on the ground. Get your stuff out there. Start making a buzz. Start making your pitches. Get your house in order. Because these bigger houses are getting their houses in order and they got a whole bunch of money to spend. I know the job market might be a little weird because again, a lot of people are gonna lose some jobs over the merger. And I don't know what Amazon's gonna do with some of their personnel from MGM because MGM doesn't really have that big of a tech online footprint, and Amazon well is online basically. So let's be honest about that. Um, so there's gonna be some fluctuations on maybe production side, on technical side, but on the creative side, there's still room to grow. And again, if you have your own company, they can't fire people from your company. They just give you money so you can hire people for your own company. Get your houses in order. This is how this connects to Afrofuturism for those who don't listen to the podcast all the way through. Let's forget. You should listen all the way through and you'll learn that. But yeah, this is an opportunity. I see this as an opportunity. That's why I love the business side of all this geek stuff. I really do, and especially for Milestone. Look, let's give an example. So Milestone is officially they finally released the Milestone Returns #0. Milestone is in a partnership with DC. Wherever DC goes, they're going to be in a better position to actually create content instead of worrying about telephones. That means Milestone, we can get some more static cartoons. We can get more cartoons based off of the Milestone characters. We can get the Milestone characters into the DC stuff like they were for a hot second there. This is a funnel for this company, this black-owned company, to get their product out there more. There's room for other black-owned companies to do the same. Well, that's all I got, Pete. Anything that you would like to add to the fall of Warner Media, the moving of MGM, the domino effect of Disney Fox?
Oh, it's too much. It's so much. It's too much, yo. I really don't have much else to say about it. I'm just
Gotcha.
I'm just I kind of understood a while back. I don't want to say I called it cuz this was no, it wasn't, it's not that surprising. But it was just one of those things where you just kind of have a feeling that something like this was going to happen. Actually, from the beginning of the streaming wars, at some point this was going to happen. Somebody was going to
Yeah.
fall into the wayside. It's poor management galore on one streaming service or conglomerate. And then we have this. Then deals are happening left and right with others. It's like how the next couple of years is going to be really interesting.
Yeah.
Really interesting. Not only with content, just with business, the business aspect too. Because I feel like there's going to be another bomb that's like another bomb drop like in the next couple of months, right around
Dude,
the corner.
I honestly think the way it looks, and again, I'm not really great with predictions. I'm gonna be honest with y'all,
Mm-hmm.
but the way this looks to shake things up, to honestly, so it can't be just one or two giant companies, maybe two or three giant
Mm-hmm.
companies. Apple's gonna buy Sony,
I can see that.
and Kevin Feige's gonna go to the head office and things like, why the hell y'all just didn't let me get Spider Man? Why y'all just didn't get him the goddamn money so I could have Spider Man? Now they finna take Spider Man.
And do fuck knows what with it.
Exactly. You gonna get look. We gonna get some really cool looking Spider Man phones from Apple though. That's gonna be. I ain't gonna front. That's gonna be dope. But that's what it's gonna be. Like that to me that would be the biggest shakeup because that would almost guarantee, especially with the properties that Sony controls. People forget that Sony PlayStation, all those first party video games, God of War, Uncharted,
Mm.
um, Horizon. What else they own? They own a lot. They own that. Those are owned by Sony. That means they can make movies for those whenever they want, books whenever they want, comics about them things whenever they want. If Apple gets control of that stuff, oh my god.
Hmm.
It that would be the biggest shakeup to stop it from being, like you said, just two companies. Or two big companies and then the third one like Netflix just trying its best to stay together. Like it would actually make it a competitive market. And hell, look, depending on how Apple feel about it, Apple could be like, you know what? We will sell you back Spider Man for $100 billion, and Kevin Feige will go Disney like, go do it right now, like get
Right.
into it right now.
Just to be petty.
No, not to be petty,
I
because
feel like
once
it's stupid
I'm
to
telling
be
you,
petty.
Kevin Feige,
No, not
Kevin
Disney
Feige,
buying it, but like Apple selling it for the
no,
price
no,
tag.
because they'll take that $100 billion and then just start churning out content. They will
There's
take the money that Disney gave them to compete with Disney.
gotcha.
If that happens, again, all hypothetical, all
Mm.
theoretical, because that was the thing that caught me off guard. Well, there were two things. One is Warner Media saying they wanted to be independent. It's like, yes, we need to break away from AT&T so we can actually make good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This is billions of dollars, and they talking about still want to be independent. But it's black people out here still begging for jobs instead of doing their own thing and being independent. Like being your own boss and partnering with somebody else. Partnering doesn't mean that they own you. That means y'all working together. Nobody owns you. But this $1 billion company, billions of dollars, wants to be independent. Come on, man. And then the second thing was that they need money. Even with all this money moving around, this new company is going to need money. They still gonna need money. They still gonna need loans. They're still gonna need investors. You could literally, let me see. Okay, you got some money around. I don't know what's gonna happen again. This is mid 2022. If they decide to go public, if they decide to do Stark shares, or the AT&T owners decide to sell stock in AT&T to get to more the new company, or the new company sells off whatever. But if as a regular person you have some money that you can afford to use, not lose, to use to buy and invest in this new company, and then use that money to build your own company. There are so many ways for this to benefit black creators. It's not just one way, selling your stuff off. There are multiple ways. But that's the thing that got me. They want to be independent and they still need money. And these are, like I said, billions of dollars of deals. And they still are doing the same struggle that our creators got to deal with. And they got to get they telling you they getting their house in order. So you need to do the same. And then go back and watch our podcast or listen to our podcast where we talk about the black creator, the author, and how she did her deal with Netflix. She by herself. It's her and one other person. That's their company. And Netflix came and did $1 million deal with them. A partnership. And she dictated terms to them. One of my favorite stories. P, I believe you brought that up to the initiative. Yes. One of my favorite stories. We can all do it. We can do it. Get your stuff together. That's all I'm saying. Well, that's it for the notes. And at the end of every podcast, we like to go around and ask host anything else that they caught their eye in Afrofuturism during the week. I got a couple of small things, but P, you go first. Anything that caught your eye in Afrofuturism or general geekdom during the week?
No, this was the only thing that caught my attention, really.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, the stuff I have is super small, nothing important. Oscar Isaac is going to be Moon Knight now. It's official.
I heard. Awesome.
I think it's cool. Yep, I think it's cool. And am I make sure I'm doing this right? Robert Patterson got some cool deal with Warner Brothers. So I'm like, all right, cool. Good for you, man. Good for you. I know something else happened. The dude that played Quicksilver in Age of Ultron, remember his name?
Hold on. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Go ahead. Well, I'll talk about Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson making this deal with Warner Brothers right now is really, really interesting because he might have been one of the last directors to get this type of deal at Warner Brothers, depending on what's coming up next with Warner Media. And it's weird because are we still getting Batman, y'all? That's a legit question. I ain't trying to be funny, but with all the stuff that's going on at Warner Media, is any of these DC movies technically still coming out? I know Rock keep talking about they making Black Adam, but I ain't seen nothing. I know Suicide Squad is done, but that's about it.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it's done. Oh. Right now they're working on the John Cena TV show.
Oh,
and when that's finished,
right.
they'll start doing the act. Because they already reached that one trailer, so they ready for Suicide Squad to come out. It's done.
Oh. They just want it done.
Yeah.
Okay, so his name is Aaron Taylor Johnson. There we go. That's his name. Yes. He's also in Godzilla. Remember Godzilla movie? Yes.
Yes, the first one.
Yes.
Yep. So Aaron Taylor is officially Kraven the Hunter and the Sony stuff. I think that was really cool.
Nice.
I think that was cool. Sony's like, oh, let's do something else from y'all. So I thought that was good.
That is actually pretty cool, though. Good for him, though.
I got one more thing.
Cool.
Last thing, like I said, I finally bought the Milestone issue number 0. Milestone Returns issue number 0. Can't wait to sit down read that. I also bought the last issue of Ta-Nehisi Coates' Black Panther run. Oh man, I don't even want to read it, but I'm going to. I want to finish it off. I finally got that. Yeah. That's it for me.
I think that's it.
All right, Dean. Well, thank you everyone for listening to the Afro Anime Initiative podcast. And once again, you can follow us on social media at Afro Anime Initiative on Instagram and Facebook. And again, on Facebook, it's the page and the group. Join them both. And you can follow us at Afro_AI on Twitter and right here on YouTube, where you can like, share, comment, and subscribe to help the channel grow so we can keep bringing you more Afrofuturism content and talk about the industry and how it can affect Afrofuturism. That's it for us, guys. Be safe out there. Enjoy as much as you can. And be in peace.